Everyone, happy Friday. It is that time again for Friday Night Live at 7. I am Sharon Price. I'm an author, a spiritual translator, spiritual leader, and grief and wellness specialist. And I want to talk tonight about the last evening for our series. This is one of six. I hope you've been following it. If not, you should go back, please, or I suggest you go back. Don't want to say woulda, coulda, shoulda. Suggest you go back and look at the entire series from start to finish. It spells out Christ. It's not a religious program. It's a relationship program, relationship with yourself, with the people in your life. Every person in connection touches your life and in marriages. So I give examples during this, but I do relationship coaching. I do it with individuals, with couples, under my life coaching program. You can find it on my website at www.getintothespirit.org. Again, that is .org. And I want to just really emphasize with this last part, which is trust. Trust is the foundation and it's the bottom, it's the pillar that holds up all the others. So communication, honesty, respect, integrity, sacrifice, again, not yourself, that is compromising in relationships, and trust. All of the first five build the last one. And when trust is broken, any of the last five have weakness, need, work, then it will weaken the trust in the relationship, which is the most important part of a relationship, is that we trust each other, that we can be our complete self, that what I say to you is confidential when I'm speaking to you, unless otherwise, said. If I'm in a partnership, whether it's a business partnership, a love relationship, a friendship, I consider every relationship, even with a client, even if it's someone that I don't know well, I consider it a closed conversation, even with a family member. I don't go and share information about you if you're talking to me with someone else unless you've given me permission. It's not mine to share. It's yours. It's your information. It's yours to to tell to the world. It's your story, is what I'm saying. But relationships are built on trust. I trust someone until they give me a reason not to. When that comes up, you've broken that trust. And a lot of times the barriers can get in the way when we're building relationships, new relationships, and even old ones, and even family members. When your belief system starts to change, your values change, the things that you expect, or I should say want or desire out of relationship, changes, because your relationship with yourself has changed. Your self-care, your self-respect, valuing yourself, never putting yourself down. And sometimes it's just things don't work. It doesn't mean we have to pick someone else apart to say this isn't working for me. It just, whatever you need at that time may be different than what someone else needs. And we have to be able to grow together in order to stay in close relationships with others. But we also have to be able to be honest, and we have to communicate well. We have to learn each other's way of communicating. It may be totally different, but that doesn't mean, especially if there's cultural differences, belief differences. And when you're going into a marriage or a love relationship or any kind of partnership, you really need to set good boundaries. You need to know, are we going to share funds? Is it going to go into a group account? Are we going to keep our funds separately and then just put what we need in this account to use? Finances and money tear apart more people than anything else that I've ever known. It's been said a zillion times from so many different speakers and relationship coaches and counselors and therapists and other people, but it's the truth. If that boundary is not set at the beginning, if you're not clear, and if one person feels like they are putting more into something than another, if you're married and you're going to have children, you come to a compromise. If someone decides to stay home because it's more efficient, or less money because of the expense on daycare or preschool, or you do it because your values say, we want to raise our own children, and that is not a sacrifice on one person's behalf. being dedicated to your family. I was very dedicated to my family, worked and took care of my family as I was raising my children. I think it's so important to have family values. I think it's great to have quality time and family time. That builds trust, it builds relationships. We had a sit down dinner every night in my home. It was so important as my children were growing up. They have instilled those same values in their own families, along with their own, because you blend your family and your values with another person. You're taking what is, part of your family and they're bringing what's part of them. And then you create something totally different on your own. It changes as this world evolves. Everything has changed. Everything continues to change, whether you agree with it or not, or go with the flow. You're going to stay stuck while other people are moving ahead. The world's not going to stop moving. The world's not going to stop evolving. Technology, programs, the way we communicate. But what we don't want to lose is our human connection and our spirit to spirit connection. And sometimes that can only be done if you're making an effort. So trust is about making an effort. If you want a relationship to work, you have to put some effort in. It can't be just one-sided. It has to be a give and take. I say that all along, or one person is dropping the ball. The other person is going to get tired of holding on to it by themselves. And that goes with everything that we do in life and our relationships. And it should be even give and take. Sometimes someone needs more from you at a moment. If there's something, a crisis going on with them or something emotional, I understand that. I always tell people I'm not going to be there when you stump your big toe. I have too much on my plate and too much time that, I want to dedicate and disperse and balance in my own life and my own self care time too, and my me time. But if someone has a crisis, anyone that knows me knows I'm a very committed person when it comes to relationship. If I do something that I don't like or commit to something, I won't do it again, but I'll always follow through on my commitment. And that's part of breaking trust. Do you follow through? Are your promises empty promises? Do you say something and you never follow through on it? Because they break relationships. People will get tired of it and they'll walk away. So in order to create a strong bond, you have to have the foundation. And I've said that once that foundation's set, yes, sometimes there can be a span in between people, but when you're forming new relationships or business is just opening up, you have to have that dedication. You have to be willing to put in the effort that it takes. And I don't believe that we should be working like that throughout the entire time we own a business, the entire time we have a relationship. I think we build that relationship and know that, we are supposed to still have our own separate interests. We're supposed to still have a life outside of work. Work is something for a means of exchanging a service, receiving money so that you can provide for yourself, for your family, for your needs. Yes, and enjoy life too. It should not be just enough to get by. It should be that you strive to have what you want in life and what you desire and that brings you enjoyment. And again, there's a lot of things that money don't buy that do that. And one of that is quality time. Um, so again, you break trust in relationships but by not following through on your word or saying something but doing something totally different or being disrespectful to someone or again not communicating. Sometimes there's a miscommunication that you try to resolve that. And sometimes we need to take time apart or time out in order to give ourselves time to process things. Some people need more time. Do you give space to someone that you're with or relationships? Are you always, like someone doesn't respond immediately, so you fabricate a story, in your mind. They didn't want to talk to me. You text them. You don't know what's going on the other end behind the phone. It's like being behind the stage or the curtain. You have no idea what's going on in someone's life sometimes. And sometimes people are more private than you think. Even though you know someone well, doesn't mean they share everything with you. But I think the one person, your partner, your husband, wife, whoever that is, should always be your best friend. I have a lot of close friends, but when I have someone that is a love relationship in my life, that person is my best friend. That's the person I know is my go-to that I can be my complete self with. And hopefully you have close relationships, friendships that you can be that way with too. Those are the bonds, those are the ones that last a lifetime. So this is the close of the program. I hope some of the information that I've talked about has been helpful. We do have a 12-week spirit program winner and runner up being showcased live right now. So every Sunday evening at 7 o'clock, it's the Sunday 7 um, Spirit program live is our wellness program. And that program has been going for 20 years. I wrote the program, I developed it. I have been working with people in building stronger and healthier relationships within themselves, their families, and their lives for many years. And just every aspect of life is touched through this program. So that's why it is now being showcased. So you can get a glimpse into just some of the things that we do. It is a life changing and a life coaching program. And 12 weeks goes by really fast. So I hope you follow the winner so you can get an idea and join me for maybe one of the next classes or come in for a private session. I do spiritual translating, so I do that as individual sessions. I do individual sessions with the 12-week program. So please make sure that uh, you, touch base. And I appreciate again, uh, all of the listeners, the followers, subscribing to my channel, liking the videos, commenting helps the algorithm of YouTube and my Facebook page. Please follow it, please share, and it'll continue to help it to grow. I want to reach more and more people. My mission is to reach people globally, and I've been just working on this through the YouTube channel since January, and it is growing every week. And my mission is to have this fully in motion by 2025. And I do virtual events. I will be promoting a lot more come September so that anyone anywhere can participate. And a lot of my events have been done here locally, but I am looking at going towards virtual only here in the future. And maybe doing one big event or twice a year where people can come live if they want to. So everything else will be virtual. And then you can come to one big expo like we did just a month ago or so. And I don't even remember the date of it right now off the top of my head. But we just had our Spirit Expo and retreat, and it was fabulous. So I hope you can make the next one. I'm hoping to have another one in the fall. And I'm hoping to get more people live at that event and also bring people in hybrid this time. We were not equipped or ready because of how we were set up. The technology wasn't put in place where we were hosting it, but we will make sure that we are the next time. So have a wonderful, fabulous weekend. Again, happy Friday, and I will be talking to you soon. Look for the Sunday night clip. Thanks.